It's time for Talk of Tallahassee, a public affairs program highlighting key issues of concern for Tallahassee and surrounding counties.
Good morning and welcome to this edition of Talk of Tallahassee. I'm your host, Tammy Webb, and with me this morning, I have the founding president, along with the director of marriage programs for Live the Life. And if I can, let me start off with Richard Albertson. You're the founding president, Live the Life. Tell us, what is Live the Life, Richard?
Well, hey, Tammy, thanks for having us on. Live the Life, we're a nonprofit organization with a mission to strengthen marriages and families. And so we like to say we help people learn how to love well. And so it's all about relationship education and just teaching couples and families how to love one another better.
I'm going to already go off the script and say, Richard, in this day and age, we're looking at, COVID. I can give you a prime example. I've been in the home with my husband, working from home in separate bedroom/offices now since like April. Are you finding that, this is starting to have a strain on marriages?
Absolutely. And the research backs that up, that there's indications of loneliness going much higher since COVID, stress in the family, more conflict with kids and with spouses, divorces higher. We've definitely heard this from the military, and I have seen it in the research. So yeah, COVID has made the things that are already difficult, it's made it even worse.
I mean, I'm going to brag here. Can I brag a little bit, you guys?
Absolutely.
I'm finding that initially, Chris and I, and my audience knows I'll get personal. I've got nothing to hide. Initially, it was like, oh my Lord, am I going to stand this person? And then it's almost like it reached a middle ground. And now it's like, I think we're better friends than we were before.
Yep. Well, that's kind of how it works. It's just kind of an ebb and flow, right? We all have those good days and bad days, and it really is a roller coaster ride. And it's also different seasons. You have different seasons of marriage, from the early days when it's all excitement and you're so glad to see each other and you can't wait to talk to each other, and you'll talk for hours on the phone and it'll be so exciting. And then 2 or 3 years into marriage, you're like, why are you calling me? I'm at work. So we all go through those stages, and so we want to help folks navigate how to work through those stages, and so they can keep their sanity and stay together and just build a stronger relationship.
Now, Sarah Grady Ackerman is with us, and I know that a lot of our audience are going to remember Sarah from WCTV, Mom's Everyday host, and really super mom, I like to call her. What a beautiful family you have, Sarah. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, Tammy. Thank you so much for letting us join with you this morning.
Now, how did you get involved, Sarah, with Live the Life? I mean, first, how did this come to be?
Yeah, so we have a friend that works here at Live the Life, and his name is Doug Stevens. He's the director for North Florida. And we knew Doug for years in the basketball world. He's also coaches and referees, and we've known him throughout the years. And so about a year and a half ago, he invited my husband, Tank, and me to come to Adventures in Marriage, which is one of the main courses that Live the Life teaches. And so Tank was like, hey, Doug Stevens wants us to come to this Adventures in Marriage retreat. And I was like, oh, okay. And he's like, yeah, it's on a Friday night and all day Saturday. And I was like, wow, okay. You talk about the super mom. I'm thinking, wow, that's a lot of time to dedicate, and our marriage is pretty good. We're doing okay. We're over the marriage ministry at our church. I don't know if we really need to go to a retreat. And my husband, he said, no, come on, let's go. And so I said, okay, fine. We'll go as a favor to Doug. We'll go to this marriage retreat. Well, I have to tell you, Tammy, we went through this retreat, and by the time we left, we were like, oh my goodness, that was so amazing and helpful. And we fell in love with what Live the Life was doing. It impacted our marriage so much. And all we could think about is like every married couple in the world needs to go through this program. And so we just kind of dove into it and became marriage coaches. And then about a year and a half later, we ended up, both of us have been hired on here at Live the Life to be able to teach and educate and come alongside married couples in our area.
Wow. As you're talking, I'm thinking about our 5 radio stations and all the different lifestyles and ages and backgrounds that it covers. And I'm thinking, there's got to be some of us that are saying, wow, she sounds like her and Tank have the perfect marriage.
Right.
Why would they need this? And why would it make such an impact on you?
Yeah. And you know what? We get that all the time. People think, oh, you have the perfect marriage, the perfect family. And my goodness, nobody has the perfect marriage.
Amen.
And so it just like Richard said at the beginning, you have your ups and downs. And the problem is most of us don't know how to deal with the downs. And the downs end up separating us versus bringing us together. And so one of the things I love about what we do here is that we teach skills and we give you practical tools that you can implement easily into your marriage with great impact on your marriage. And so absolutely, yes, we have issues just like any other marriage, but what we've learned through Live the Life is how to use those differences to bring us closer versus putting a gap between us.
Wow. Now, Richard, I'm looking, and one of the goals that you have this year is to, if you can say this, normalize marriage education. And how often do you find that either couples don't think they need it, or they think marriage retreats are a sign that your marriage is in trouble and headed for the big divorce court?
Yep.
Can you speak to this for us?
Well, sure. We get that all the time. And, so that's why so many people are terrified. You talk about marriage counseling, right? And people are like, oh no. I mean, they think that's a terrible thing to go to marriage counseling. And we tell folks, if we say this is counseling, it'll scare everybody off. It's really coaching. It's really showing you, as Sarah was talking about, showing you the skills of how to do it. So, a lot of us, especially some of us guys, we like to let sleeping dogs lie. And if there's some issues in our marriage, let's not stir that up. So we're terrified that if we go to a marriage class, it's going to stir all that up, and then we don't want that to happen. We want things calm, cool, and collected. So that's not a good strategy. So we're trying to normalize it. So if you think about, you wouldn't buy a car and let it run for 50 years without changing the oil, right? You can't just say, hey, we bought the car, it's going to last 50 years. It takes maintenance, it takes work, it takes effort to keep it running and keep it in good shape. Same thing with a garden, right? You wouldn't just plant the seeds and walk away, right? You got to water it, you got to weed it, you got to cultivate it, got to put fertilizer on it, and it just takes time. And if you want it to be a healthy garden that produces lots of fruit, you got to take care of it. Same thing with that marriage. If you don't cultivate it and take care of it and work on it and nurture it and love on it and treat it well, you're not going to produce very good fruit. So it's the same concept. So we just want to normalize it. Like, I hope that someday we get through this and we get through this campaign and we say, hey, why aren't you taking relationship education? Why wouldn't you take marriage education? Mm-hmm. With divorce rates as high as they are in our country, well, you're crazy not to do this, to learn how to do it the right way. So why don't we learn how to do it in a healthier, stronger way? So normalize it. Just make it it's just part of what you're just supposed to do it.
And Tammy, I would add on to that as well, is like everything we do in life, we research it, we learn the skills for it, we make sure that we're prepared for it. But when it comes to marriage, most of us just get married because we're in love and all that, but we don't necessarily have the skills to know how to be successful in our marriage. And so it's kind of like we have to go in reverse with couples and say, okay, you've been married for all these years. Now let's go back to the beginning. Let's learn the skills to actually make this be successful.
As you both are speaking, I'm thinking to myself, this is stuff that we should understand, but we don't. I mean, you said we get married, we're in love, so we just get married, but we don't, expect to get our master's degree without learning how to do the trade. But we expect to be successful with marriage. And I'm going off the script again here, Richard, but do you offer like programs for, say, a couple's engaged?
Yes.
And they're thinking, I'm listening to Richard and Sarah talk this morning from Live the Life, and maybe we should do this before we get married. Yes,
you raised a great point, because we talk about moving upstream. Look, we work with couples in crisis, and they're filing for divorce, and that's very labor intensive, hard work. But we found that we can do that, and we've had great success with that. But we'd rather get folks before they get married. And then we realized, well, so we have a program called Start Smart for couples that are dating, seriously dating, or engaged, teaching them relationship skills. And then we thought, we need to get them before they're dating. We need to get them in high school. And then we said, no, we need to start in middle school because of what's going on in some of these middle schools and high schools. Kids are learning how to not have healthy relationships. They're learning how to have broken relationships. They're learning how to have unhealthy relationships with all kinds of what we call red flags. Mm-hmm. So we teach kids, we're in middle schools now. We're in every middle school and high school in Gadsden County, teaching kids how to have healthy relationships. And what are you looking for in a boyfriend or a girlfriend? What are some healthy signs? What are some unhealthy signs? What are some red flags? Mm-hmm. And I got to tell you, those red flags, it's eye-opening to me whenever I go into these classes and I see, especially some of these young girls. I was in one particular class. I think this was over in Liberty County, but all the girls were talking about how they had every single one of the red flags. When they're with their boyfriend, they had all of them, and they thought those red flags were normal. That's just what they're used to, and it's the first time anyone said, "No, those are red flags. When you see that, that's unhealthy. That's not what you want in a relationship." So all these little 7th, 8th grade girls, I'm breaking up with my boyfriend today. It's just kind of funny, But we want to teach them the right way to do it. It's not just about breaking up. That's not the goal. Is break up all the relationships. The goal is to teach them how to do it the right way and teach them the skills to do that.
And if you're in middle schools and someone's listening this morning and they're like, wait a minute, they haven't been to my middle school or my high school, how would they find out about this program?
Well, yeah, call us up at 668-3700. You can email us at Richard@livethelife.org or Sarah@livethelife.org. We'd be happy to work with that. We're working on getting in some schools in Leon County. We're in, I believe we're going to be in Florida High this year, and
Wonderful.
I believe we're going to be at Community Leadership Academy, Sarah. I think those are the two that and then we've got a couple other principals we've been talking to. So we're in about 40 schools around the state of Florida, most of them in Broward County. We've got about 30 schools down in Broward County in Fort Lauderdale that we're working with, and they just love it. We're in private schools, public schools, Christian schools, charter schools, you name it. We're in the schools. So we have to move upstream to your point, which is, you were spot on that's what we've got to do rather than waiting until they're in a crisis in their marriage and they file for divorce with 3 kids,
This is just amazing stuff I'm learning this morning. If you're just joining us, I am talking with Richard Albertson. He's the founding president for Live the Life. And Sarah Grady Ackerman, we've known her, we've loved her for years, Moms Every Day with WCTV. And she is now the director of marriage programs for Live the Life. I want to give you the website. It's livethelife.org as you're listening to the program this morning. If you want to go look at the website, we'd love for you to do that. The phone number that Richard just gave you, if you'd like to go ahead and put this in your cell phone, maybe you have a student who's in middle school and you're thinking, oh my gosh, I wish they taught this to me when I was in middle school. Mm-hmm. Here's that phone number. It's 850-668-3700. As we move towards the middle of the show almost already, I told you guys, you got a lot of information. It goes pretty fast. I did want to, while I'm still talking with you though, Richard, ask you, you gave some, examples of younger students that you've talked with. Can you share maybe some of the most memorable testimonies that you've seen over the years of couples that have maybe been on that dreaded brink of divorce and then they've discovered, hey, I actually do love this person, or I like this person now. Maybe I've loved them all along, just didn't like them, but they learned some stuff through Live the Life. Can you share some memories with us, some testimonies?
There are so many of them. It's hard to remember all of them. I'll give you just a couple examples. I remember there was a guy that had been married to his wife for about 20 years. They had four boys, and he was a serial adulterer, and he had been cheating on his wife with multiple women over 20 years, and she had no idea.
Oh Lord.
And then all of a sudden, one day she found out, and the bottom just dropped out, and her world just collapsed. And she's got these 4 kids, and it's just a nightmare. It's just an absolute train wreck, and just pure devastation. Long story short, they came to one of our Hope Weekends, which is the program we have for the seriously distressed marriages, and they came and it totally transformed their marriage, a complete turnaround. She didn't think she could ever forgive him. He thought he was just damaged goods and it's just all over for him. And they got hope and it was restored. And now Now, 4 years later, they are coaches at our Hope Weekends, and they actually help other couples that are in crisis, that are dealing with adultery or dealing with issues. And it's completely transformed their marriage. And I think about couples like that during the Christmas season and the holiday season, because I think, those 4 little boys are not going to be in a broken home this year. And you don't know how much gratification, you don't know how good that feels to realize those little boys are going to grow up in a healthier home. And they were headed for a train wreck. And so I love that we can turn those situations around. We've had couples that have been divorced. They have actually, they're gone through the whole process. They are now divorced. And then they reconciled because they came to one of our programs. They got back together and they remarried. And I just think that blows my mind. We had a woman not too long ago who was just like, I'm out, I'm done, I'm toast, it's over. She came to one of our programs. It was Adventures in Marriage. And she ended up, she tells her story on video and talks about how it totally turned around, and now she's pregnant with their first child. So that's just so cool. Here's a little person that would not be coming into this world were it not for these programs. So you get to see lives. We get to have those front row seats to see lives changed, and it's the most wonderful feeling ever. And I'll just give you one more example. We just had a Hope Weekend here in Tallahassee 2 weeks ago, and we had 3 couples come in serious distress, multiple issues, adultery, lots of adultery, pornography addiction, just severe conflict, not learning how to have a fight. And I can tell you, the way you handle conflict is the primary indicator of whether or not your marriage is going to go the distance. You have to learn how to resolve conflict and do it in a healthy way, so you're not yelling and screaming and just tearing each other to shreds. You've got to learn how to do it the right way, and you can't do that without the skills. So all 3 of these couples, this is just 2 weeks ago, right here in Tallahassee, all of them, their marriages were saved. And that's just, again, now there's 3 more families with kids, and one of them had grandkids that they're now together for Christmas. And that's the best Christmas present in the world. And it just makes you want to do it again. When can we do another Hope Weekend? Let's go save some more marriages. It's a lot of fun. It's very addictive. It's kind of like a drug.
But a good one.
Yes.
A good positive drug. Again, if you're just joining us, we're talking with Richard Albertson and Sarah Grady Ackerman. They work with Live the Life. I asked you this in the beginning of the show, and I'm going to go back to Sarah and have you tell us again. Sarah, when people are tuning in this morning and they're going, wait, Tammy, what is this Live the Life? Give us the meaning of what is Live the Life again, if you will, Sarah.
Yeah, sure, Tammy. Live the Life, for starters, we've been around since 1998. And our goal has been to drive down the divorce rate in Leon County and the entire state of Florida. We are headquartered here in Tallahassee, but we also have offices in South Florida and Jacksonville and over in the Panhandle. And really what we do, it's relationship education. And so we have, as Richard was talking about, we have our Real Essentials classes that go out into middle and high schools to teach character development and how to have successful relationships. Then we have our Start Smart program that's for premarital counseling. It's really a 4-hour course, and you can take that certificate that you get from taking Start Smart and get half off on your marriage license to show that you've completed that. Yeah. Then we have Adventures in Marriage. That's a great retreat that we do it's great for maintenance in your marriage. It's great for couples that are having trouble in their marriage. No matter what your situation, that's a great tool for you. We also have what Richard was just talking about, which is our Hope Weekend. And that is for couples who are they're ready to call it quits. Like, if this doesn't work, we're done. And we have an 80% success rate in our Hope Weekends.
Wow.
Yeah.
And that's for 17 years. We've had that success rate for more than 17 years.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
That's so
And yet most people have never heard about it. So, that's...
And to be honest with you, just because I know Sarah is how I found out about it. And I thought, all these years I've been doing Talk of Tallahassee and I've never talked about Live the Life. Now, I know that you also have some other programs. So Sarah, did you or Richard, which one of you, I know you have some other programs. Are there other things we haven't mentioned?
Well, I ran through most of them. We also have, and I'll let Richard talk about this, we have Family Frontiers. And our family has not gone through this yet, but I can't wait to take, especially we've got 2 of our 4 kids are teenagers.
Oh, wow.
And so, Richard, I'll let you tell a little bit more about that.
Family Frontiers.
I love Family Frontiers program because that's where we work with the family together. So that's where we get kids, they're typically ages 7 and up, and we usually let the younger kids go to childcare. We provide childcare, but we have the kids 7 and up, and we walk through scenarios where they work together to solve problems as a family. They learn how to communicate as a family. They learn how to resolve conflicts as a family. We give them some key tips and pointers on what the research says. These are things that will work and help you build a stronger family. So it's just so neat to see families connecting, fathers that may not be as communicative with their kids, mothers who are stressed out and burning the candle at both ends and trying to keep everything together, reconciling with their teenage daughter and learning how to work through problems and work through issues and resolve problems that they're dealing with, that every family deals with. We all have, nobody has a perfect family. We all deal with stuff, but learning how to navigate through those minefields, especially the different seasons of being in a family, when the kids are younger and then as they go through the different stages, you have to have those different sets of skills at each point along the way. Because, for example, as the kids get into the teen years, you get to the point where you're not in the power and control is not going to work as well. You've got to move more towards coaching as they get older. And a lot of parents, they don't realize that their role has shifted. And they still think that they're 5 years old. It's because I said so. It's I say yes or no, and I'm the boss, and I'm in control of everything. And that power and control shifts. And if you don't learn how to shift with that and be more of a coach versus the heavy-handed, you're going to lose some of those teenagers. So we help families work through that. We work with single moms and single dads in that program as well. So I just love the Family Frontiers. We also have Power of Us, which is a program, kind of a follow-up to Adventures in Marriage, which just takes it a little bit deeper.
Wow. As you're speaking, I can just feel the audience, their ears shifting, because you touched on something. I have 2 children biologically and raised 3 more. And when you blend a family together, it becomes even tougher.
Amen.
Yeah.
It's like we say, it's not just a family tree, it's a family jungle sometimes. And so that's one of the things we really work on is step families, because that's a huge and growing number of families have step families. And so working through those issues, it becomes more complicated. It's still very doable, but that makes it even more important to have the skills and learn how to navigate through this, because, hey, you're not my dad, you're not my mom, you can't tell me what to do. And, and so we get into some of those dynamics and helping folks work through that. And that's really a powerful program to help families.
I am just at awe listening to this. I wish I had gone through this raising my 3 stepchildren. I mean, they're all adults now, and through the grace of God, they're doing okay. They're all alive and self-sufficient. But, if people are listening this morning and they're thinking, okay, you're telling me all about these great programs. How do I sign up? How do I get involved?
That's it. And what you're saying is what we get all the time, Tammy. Hey, I wish I had heard this years ago. My wife and I say that. Boy, I wish we had learned this, before we got married. I would have avoided a lot of headache and heartache. But, going to our website, livethelife.org, looking for these programs, they're all on there, and it shows you which ones are up and which ones are coming up. And, just sign in or email us, richard@livethelife.org or sarah@livethelife.org, and we'd be happy to work with anyone to provide these programs. That's what we do.
I'm looking and I'm seeing that there's a new campaign, and Stronger Together.
Well, the Stronger Together campaign is basically that as a community, we're stronger together. We work together, whether it's the churches, businesses, community-based organizations, individuals, families, marriages, everybody. All of us have a stake in strong marriages and families. And the research is overwhelming that when you've got strong marriages and strong families in a community, your community is more likely to thrive. So, we want to operationalize that. So even at the granular level, what can one person do? So we're trying to think through, and we're still in the building block stages of this campaign. We hope to launch it, early next year. But the idea is, even at what can I do as one person? Well, hey, I might be willing to share a social media post or a digital post about what you're doing. I might like it. I might like you on Facebook or follow you on Instagram. So there's things you can do, or maybe I can just refer one couple that I know. Hey, I know a couple. I hope someone from the show say, I know someone that's struggling in their marriage. I'm going to send them to that Hope Weekend. that's the kind of thing that we're stronger together when we do those things. So what's something I can do all the way through? Hey, I want to be a marriage coach, or I might like to teach these classes, or I like to bring these programs to my business or to my organization, my community-based organization, bring it to my church. So stronger together, the more people that kind of sign on to this and become part of it, we just want that network to grow of people to find out what we're doing and how we're doing it, and add more to it. It's not just our stuff. Any programs out there that are strengthening marriages and families, we want to find out about those, and we want people to find each other and be kind of a clearinghouse to help people find all those resources in our community to help have stronger marriages, stronger families, because we are definitely stronger together. So that's kind of like the basic building blocks of it, and we're still developing it. But we hope to be coming back next year and talk more about that when it's more solidified. But that's the basic building blocks.
It's hard to believe that we have less than 5 minutes left in the show. And I would feel remiss if I didn't say this at this point. We're coming up on the holidays. Say you're listening. Maybe you're a parent. Maybe you're a sister, a brother, or somebody. Can you give this as a gift to someone? I mean, I know there's a fee involved because, it takes money to run programs like this. Are there ways to gift someone this program?
Yes, they can. We have that happen all the time. One of the cool things people do is they give a Start Smart class. Like when someone's getting married, rather than getting them a set of china, they'll send them to a Start Smart class.
Love it.
Which is really one of the best things you could ever do. So yeah, you can definitely just go to the website and sign somebody up and pay for it, and you can do that all day long. We'd love to have that.
Yeah, my brother-in-law is getting married in July, and my mother-in-law just said that's what I'm getting them for their wedding. Their wedding gift is going to be the Start Smart class. So that does happen. And what a better gift that could you give than to help them, as we say, give you the tools to go from a 5-year marriage to a 50+ marriage.
Now, Sarah, in closing, I know there's other things and we're running out of time, but are there ways like through the church or something that if someone's listening and maybe they really they can't afford to do this on their own, but their church or their business could get together and provide this?
Yeah, we have all different types of ways that we can do this. We have sponsorships that can happen. We're part of the Stronger Together campaign that we are working on. We want to partner with businesses that have the same, that we're like-minded in this passion for having healthy marriages, because we know the healthier the marriages are, the healthier our community is as a whole. Right. And so we're hoping to get businesses on board that they could sponsor people, or the church could even sponsor people. There's, we don't want to ever turn any couples away. That's the last thing that we want to do. So there's always a way that we can work together. And I know that Richard probably has something to add to that as well.
Well, I know. I thought you did a great job. You did a great job, Sarah. Yeah, we're just trying to reach as many marriages and families as we possibly can, because we know they're out there, and even during the holidays, things are even more stressful. So we want to be able to reach as many of those families as we can.
All right, so if a business or a pastor or a group is listening and they think, I'd like to bring one or more of these programs into my business, into my church, they can simply give you a call, Richard, or email you for details?
Please, we would love to have it. Just call us at 668-3700, and we'll come to you. That's what we do.
And now the last thing I want to say is there anything as the public that we can do to help this be more successful? Well,
you're doing it, Tim, because we're going to count you as part of our Stronger Together campaign, because here's something everyone can do to help us spread the word. So we are so much stronger together, and by spreading the word and getting the message out to as many people as we can, so that more families can grow up and more kids can grow up in strong, healthy homes. That's really what it's all about.
And I guess as in closing, Sarah, thank you so much for being here with us today. Richard, we truly appreciate you taking the time to be with us. If you want to look at the website, livethelife.org, Richard at livethelife.org, or Sarah, Sarah, at livethelife.org. And I know that either one of you would be happy to answer their questions and return their emails or their phone calls.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Tammy.
Thanks for having us.
This has been Talk of Tallahassee, an Issues and Answers public service program. covering issues of concern to those living in the Tallahassee area. If you have a concern you'd like to have discussed on our program, you can email us at tallahasseeissues@cumulus.com. That's tallahasseeissues@cumulus.com. Talk of Tallahassee is presented by WBZE-FM Tallahassee.